"Hey, sweetheart, smile for us," sneered the man in the torn leather jacket, slamming his beer can on the counter. It was past midnight at a quiet gas station on Route 67. The air outside was cold, filled with the hum of neon lights and the distant rumble of passing trucks. Inside, the smell of cleaning fluid lingered as the young cashier, Emma Brooks, finished mopping the last bit of the tile floor. She was exhausted, her eyes heavy after a 12-hour shift. "Store's closed, gentlemen," she said softly, her voice polite but firm. She clutched the register keys in one trembling hand and wiped her palms on her apron. But instead of leaving, the three men laughed, a cold, mocking laugh that echoed through the empty aisles. Their footsteps creaked against the floor as they approached the counter. One of them stepped closer, his breath thick with alcohol. "Don't act tough, baby," he said, leaning over the counter. "We just want a little fun. You got time for that, don't you?" Before we continue this story, go ahead and subscribe to our channel and like this video so we can bring you even more amazing stories like this one. Emma's throat tightened. Her heart pounded so loudly she could hear it echoing inside her ears. The security cameras blinked red, recording, but she knew no one was watching. Not at this hour, not out here in the middle of nowhere. The tallest thug reached across the counter and flicked her name tag. "Emma Brooks," he read with a grin. "Pretty name. You look even prettier when you're scared." His hand suddenly shot forward, grabbing her shirt collar. "Now be a good girl and pour us some beer." Emma jerked back, her voice shaking. "I said we're closed, please. Just leave." That made them laugh harder. One of the men kicked over a candy stand, sending chocolate bars scattering across the floor. Another cracked open a beer from the fridge, gulping it down and tossing the cap at her feet. Emma's eyes darted around, searching for help, but the street outside was empty. No headlights, no sound, just the distant buzz of a streetlight. She didn't know that help was already inside. Moments ago, two men, quiet, rugged, wearing black leather vests, had walked in. They'd bought 2 bottles of water and a bag of chips, nodding politely before heading toward the back aisle. Their motorcycles were parked outside under the flickering gas station sign. Emma had assumed they were gone, but the Iron Souls. Motorcycle Club never left without settling a score. The leader of the thugs, a man with a jagged scar cutting down his cheek, slammed his fist on the counter, making her flinch. "You know what happens to girls who say no around here?" His grin was crooked, his eyes wild. Emma stumbled backward until her legs hit the shelf behind her. Her phone was just behind the register, too far to reach without turning her back. Her breathing grew shallow, tears formed in her eyes. The lights flickered once, then twice. A metallic sound echoed from the back of the store. Boots, heavy boots. The thugs turned. From the far end of the aisle, 2 massive figures emerged from the shadows, leather vests glinting beneath the cold fluorescent light. Their patches read in bold white letters, "Iron Souls, MC." The older of the two had a grey beard, a faded scar near his temple, and calm, steel blue eyes. The younger was taller, muscular, his arms covered in tattoos that told stories of war, pain, and loyalty. They didn't rush. They didn't shout. They just walked, slow, steady, deliberate. The room fell completely silent. The older biker stopped at the end of the counter. His eyes locked on the man holding Emma. "Did I just see you put your hands on her?" His voice was low, calm, but dangerous. The thug stammered, trying to laugh. "Hey man, relax, we were just—" The biker took one step forward. The floor creaked beneath his boots. "Funny," he said coldly. "I don't remember laughing." The younger biker moved behind the thugs, quietly sliding the door lock with a click. The sound made the men freeze. No escape. "Look, we don't want trouble," said the leader, holding his hands up. "It was just a joke, all right? No harm done." "Wrong," said the older biker. "Plenty of harm done." Without warning, the younger biker grabbed one of the men by the back of the neck and slammed him into the counter. Bottles shattered, beer spilled, and the man gasped for breath. The leader swung wildly, but caught a single punch in return, a heavy, echoing thud that sent him crashing into a display rack. Emma backed away, her hands trembling. It was chaos, pure, controlled chaos, but for the first time that night she felt safe. The bikers didn't fight like drunks. They moved with precision, years of discipline in every motion. The older one caught the last thug trying to flee and twisted his arm behind his back, forcing him to his knees. "Apologize," he said quietly. The man hesitated, breathing hard. The younger biker slammed his hand against the counter beside him. He said, "Apologize." "So sorry." "I'm sorry," the thug cried, holding his bleeding lip. The older biker nodded slowly. "Now get out." The three men scrambled out the door, tripping over each other as they ran into the cold night. Their car screeched off into the darkness. Silence. Only the hum of the refrigerator and Emma's soft breathing filled the store. She stood there for a long moment, staring at the two bikers. The older one reached into his pocket and placed a crumpled $20 bill on the counter. "For the mess," he said. Emma shook her head. "No, you don't have to." He raised a hand. "Keep it, you stood your ground. That takes guts." Her eyes filled with tears. "I thought no one would come." The biker smiled faintly. "You never know who's watching. The world still has some good people left." As they turned to leave, Emma called out, "Wait! Who are you guys?" The older man paused, looking back over his shoulder. "Just two guys who don't like bullies," he said. Then he nodded once, and both men walked out into the night. Their motorcycles roared to life. Deep, thunderous engines that shook the quiet road. Emma watched through the glass door as the two bikes disappeared into the darkness, their red taillights fading against the horizon. She exhaled, finally letting her tears fall. Her knees gave out, and she sat behind the counter, covering her face. The fear, the tension, the shock, all of it melted into relief. She looked at the mess around her, the broken glass, the scattered candy bars, and smiled faintly. Because she'd just learned something powerful that night, that angels don't always wear wings. Sometimes they wear leather jackets, sometimes they ride motorcycles, and sometimes they walk into your life when you least expect it, just to remind you that good still exists. Hours later, as dawn crept over the horizon, Emma stepped outside and locked up the store. The cool breeze touched her face. In the distance, a faint echo of motorcycle engines rumbled across the empty road. Fading, but unforgettable. She whispered into the wind, "Thank you." And the morning sun rose over Route 67, turning the night's darkness into gold.